So, you might have saw my video I did earlier about exactly why I don't believe it's the best thing for men to emotionally overinvest into a female, and how it can trickle down into just more than one aspect of your life. Well, this video I'm going to be telling you exactly why nobody gives a fuck about your problems as a man. Absolutely nobody, especially women in particular, but really nobody cares about your problems as a man. Even other men don't care about your problems as a man. But really women specifically don't give a fuck. So let's get straight into it. What do I mean when I say your problems as a man? I'm a firm believer, and this is a fact, that men eternally struggle more with mental health, all that shit, self-identity, problems, depression, loneliness, way more than women have to, right? This is a fact. If you look at the suicide rates in comparison between men and women, men have a drastically higher suicide rate compared to women. And that's a whole nother topic as to why for another time. But what I'm gonna get into and explain today is gonna explain to you exactly why suicide rates for men are way higher for women. I mean, it's way higher for men than it is for women, excuse me. So nobody cares about your problems. That alone creates depression. Once you realize as a man, I think every man has and some men get to 58 years old and they still live in a blue pill world where they believe that people really care for them and give a fuck about them. But most men get to a point where they realize nobody is really there for them. It's just them. It's just you. It's just them. I got to that point too. It's just you. And it's so cold and it's so dark, this reality, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's kind of like the red pill. Once you see the red pill, you can't unsee it. No matter what your family tells you, no matter what old family traditions say you should believe, no matter what these weak ass, dick sucking, cock sucking ass liberals and leftists tell you you should believe to be weak and feminine and blue pill. Once you see the red pill for what it is, and not only once you see it, but once you see it actually happening in real time, you can't unsee that shit. You know, you can't unsee it. But nobody gives a fuck about your problems as a man, right? Nobody cares. People just care about results, especially women, okay? Nobody cares why you failed. Nobody cares why you're broke. Nobody cares why you're fat and out of shape. Nobody cares why you're ugly. Nobody cares why you're unemployed. Nobody cares why you don't have a car, why you don't have your own place. Nobody cares why you don't have the status. Nobody cares why you don't have the Ferrari. Nobody cares why you don't have stocks invested. Nobody cares as a man. Nobody fucking cares about your problems. Nobody cares why you're depressed. Nobody cares about why she left you, why she cheated on you. Even if it's clearly not your fault and you just had a fucking array of unlucky events that happened in your life, nobody really fucking cares about your problems as a man. Nobody's gonna give you sympathy. Nobody. Okay? And if you don't believe me, try explaining your problems to your wife or your girlfriend. Try. See what she says. You will probably get some sort of response that deflects away from it until, like, she may not literally tell you to suck it up, but she will give you a response and an answer that is equivalent to suck it up. I don't give a fuck. Get it together because you need to provide for me, or if you got kids, or you need to provide for your kids. That alone creates a sort of loneliness and depression that a lot of men battle with for a while. And a lot of men never really fully conquer that shit, and they end up killing themselves. Right? You know, that alone can create suicidal thoughts, to know that you have to work so hard in life to be the very best and compete with other men, to really never be noticed and pretty much be invisible to the entire world, pretty much your whole entire life, until you maybe get, you know, old enough to be noticed and considered a high value. And even then, you still may not be considered that guy. So you have to try even harder, just for people to not really give a fuck about your effort, your work. They need you. They know they need you, but they're only going to appreciate you when they need you, but they don't really appreciate you when you're not needed. It's this weird situation, man. It's very dark for men. I always say it's very dark. It's very dark for men, but nobody gives a fuck about your problems as a man. And I honestly recommend, I'm 25, right? But I've noticed these things. I've noticed these things throughout my life already, right? I've noticed it already. Like, nobody really gives a fuck about your problems as a man. You really have nobody but you. Nobody's coming to save you as a man. You're not a fucking female where you can count on OnlyFans and feet pics to save you. That's not going to happen. You see, women women can live their whole entire life in a false reality. Men, we can't. There will be consequences if we try to live in a false reality. For a woman, she can pretty much live her whole life in la la land, and there will be no consequences for that shit. If a man even tries to remotely live in la la land, he will get fucked over, literally, financially, in the dating market, career-wise, in every aspect. His life will be fucked. And nobody's going to care why you got fucked. And nobody's going to care after it happens. Nobody's going to care about why you declined. Only thing people are going to care about as a man is that you're declined. They only care about what's going on in front of them at that very moment. You're declined. We don't give a fuck why you declined. All we know is that you're declined. And if you're a winner in life, they're all happy for you, or they're all impressed. But they only respect you if you win in life. That's the cold reality as a man. They only respect you if you win. If you don't win, they don't want to know about why you didn't. They don't want to know about the unfortunate turn of events. They don't want to know about how you lost your job, or your grandfather died, your uncle died, your grandma died, your daughter died, or whatever the fuck happened, or you were an accident child, your father raped your mom, and that's why you were born. Nobody gives a fuck about, as a man, nobody cares about what happened in your life. Nobody cares. They don't have sympathy. They only care about what you're doing right now and the results that you're getting in life right now. That's why I highly recommend you don't tell anybody. And the best way you can cure, this is what has worked for me personally. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but my advice to men, if you're listening to this right now and you find yourself in that situation of darkness and loneliness, because every man has went through it, right? And I'm a firm believer that a man's state of depression is way darker than a woman's state of depression, because we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders already as it is from our early age, bro. From probably 16 and up, we are carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. Every man, no matter your race, color, religion, every man is. You're expected to do certain things and expected to be a certain way. And if you're not that way, you're a nobody. You're treated as second class, pretty much. You're treated as a scum of the earth, right? But here's my advice, and this is what has helped me. Finding your purpose as a man, whether that be getting in shape, helping other men, maybe whatever it is you find yourself very passionate about, that will help you out of that darkness, because you have a purpose on this earth. It will help you with the loneliness because you know what your purpose is. You know exactly what you want to do with your life. Me, I know that I'm very passionate about this shit, helping men out elevate, specifically young men or older men, and just men in general. I'm very passionate about fitness. Once I found out what I'm very passionate about, my cravings to hop into this narrative of I need a girlfriend, I need this to feel satisfied, all of that shit went away. And that's another topic for another time. But once you realize female nature and just how bad it can really get being with them, because in 2026, I do believe that a man being in a marriage or a relationship with any woman is a risk. Once you really understand female nature and how dark it is, you will understand that being affiliated with them in any form, shape, or fashion is a big risk as to what can happen to your mental health, your energy declining, your finances declining. It's all a big fucking risk, right? But nobody cares about your problems as a man. They only care about your results. So you might want to keep your issues to yourself. And I know that's not an easy thing to do, but you can translate that, and you can transfer that energy, that depression, that anger, all that shit into your passion. That's the number one solution, man. Put it into your passion. Too many guys just ball into that and they don't know what to do with it, and that's understandable. But a lot of guys don't know what to do with it. They end up killing themselves because they walked around with this, and people are like, damn, he killed himself. I'm like, yeah, he killed himself. And it's like, why is that? It's because he was probably walking around depressed and nobody never knew. So many men, as we speak, myself included, I used to go through this, and I've gotten a lot better at it now than I used to because I've grown to see reality for what it is over time. But a lot of guys don't, and it creates a sense of depression. Now, whereas to women, vice versa, women, they have it way easier. Yeah, they may be biologically weaker and stuff like that, but as far as their pretty privilege they get just for having a vagina, people simping to them, offering them free things, life is way completely different for a woman than it is for a man. They pretty much have life on easy mode, especially when it comes to the dating market. As far as who they can fuck and who they can get, it's way different. Women have it way easier, bro. People care about their problems. If you try to explain your problems to her, she will not give a fuck. If she explains it to you, and if you dare try to act like you don't give a fuck, or even if you give a response that came off kind of deflective, or if you gave a response or answer to her crying and venting to you, even if your response is equivalent in any way to get over it, she's gonna flip out on you. That goes to show you women can't go through half of the shit that men go through, and that's facts. Women cannot go through half of the shit that men go through. If women had to go through half of the shit that men go through, a lot of them will probably off themselves too. But as a man, you grow, well, some of us, because a lot of them can't handle it. And you see reality for what it is. You get on your ground, you get on your purpose, and you find out life is actually not so bad once you actually get used to being a man, But yeah, man, nobody gives a fuck about your problems as a man. Nobody cares about why you're not fat. They just see that you're fat. And nobody really cares why. Because how people look at you and your explanation as to why of your shortcomings in life is completely different from how they look at a woman and her shortcomings in life. People will say, oh, she had a lot of unfortunate events that happened to her. But for you, they won't think that. They'll just say, you failed, you didn't get the job done, and you're a fucking nobody in life. Rest in peace. That is the harsh, cold reality of how people view men. If you don't win, you're a loser. And they don't care why you lost, you're a loser. Is it fair? Absolutely fucking not. But that is why it's so important that you strive to be above average in life as a man. All this bullshit of just be a good guy, just be honest. You don't need to have looks, fitness, and money. You just need to have one of them. Get the fuck out of here. And if you're like that, get the fuck off my channel, you weak pussy bitch, because I'm here trying to uplift men to be above average, because that's the only way to win in society as a man, is to be above average. Because just being average nowadays is gonna fucking cook you, bro. The average guy is cooked in 2026. The average guy, this society is not made for the average guy to have a happy life in 2026. It's just not. While women, on the other hand, they can pretty much, for the most part, be below average and live a above average life and have and access above average opportunities, and walk around with an above average mentality when they're pretty much well below average. That's not fair, but that's just the totem pole, man, of modern society and dating. That's just where it is, where men rank compared to women. And this is why nobody really gives a fuck about a man's problems. If you ask a woman, what do you think about the men's high suicide rate? A lot of them won't give a fuck. You'll probably get I guarantee you 96% likely you'll get a cold response, or a response that's very ignorant, or a very short response that clearly shows that they're not caught up on the topic. A lot of women, they don't know about the high suicide rate for men. Some women do, but I would argue to say that not only do some women not know and they're not aware of the high suicide rate for men, they don't give a fuck even if they did know why. They don't care to know, they don't want to know, because this is how they are. Women they are creatures, they walk this earth, they are survival creatures, meaning that anything they engage in or want something to do with, people included, it has to benefit their survival in some shape, form, or fashion. If it does not benefit their survival, they don't want anything to do with you. Stay the fuck away from them, they get away from you. That's the dark truth. They're a survival creature. Their sole purpose is to survive. This is why they're hypergamous. Go for the best mate. I need to survive. Go for the rich guy. I need to survive. Go for the fit guy, the good looking guy. I need to pass my genetics on to somebody that's good looking. I need to survive. You know, they're a survival fucking creature. This is the dark, harsh reality of this shit. They need to survive. They're a survival creature, which it's not their fault. This is biology, because men were created to provide, and we were created to basically take care of women since human civilization. This is biology. Another thing, this red pill shit is not misogyny. It is biology. And I just rhymed. It's not misogyny. It's fucking science. It's biology. It's human civilization, how we evolved, bro. You know? And women are survival creatures, bro. They are survival creatures. So if you come to them, explain to them your problems, they're not gonna give a fuck, because their only thought is, how is his problems? How is this guy crying, depressed, lonely, suicidal? How is this guy telling me all this sad shit, which they interpret as weakness? They might not tell you. They tell you men can cry. No. Biologically, you may cry in front of her, but biologically she's interpreting this as, this guy's a pussy, this guy's weak. They may not want to admit it to you, but bro, dude, I'm fucking telling you, that's how they interpret that shit. So when you're coming to her with your problems, they don't give a fuck. I would argue to say that you're likely to get a more empathetic response from your worst enemy, who was a guy, before you get an empathetic response from a woman about your fucking problems. Because men, I do believe we are more empathetic. Even the coldest, heartless killers, we have the ability to be more empathetic than a woman can. A woman's goal is not to love conditionally. It's not to walk the earth and be empathetic. It's not to love genuinely. It is to survive. And as soon as you fucking understand this shit, you'll stop fucking getting your heart broke. You'll stop over-investing. I'm not saying don't invest, don't enjoy, don't fuck bitches, and don't have a girlfriend, don't have a rotation. You could do all that, but make sure you're on your purpose first before all of that. Women should come second to third, especially if you're fat and out of shape and you're broke. Women should be your last priority right now, because the more time you spend chasing that rather than getting money, getting in shape, and becoming the man that they want to chase, you're gonna fall and drift further into the category of being a loser in life. Okay? But people don't give a fuck about your problems as a man. It's either you win or you don't. It's cutthroat. You either win or you don't. You're either somebody or you're fucking nothing. So this is just a harsh video I'm making, man, as to why men, nobody gives a fuck about their issues as a man. You know, you don't have that luxury of people, you know, you just don't have that luxury, man. So yeah, either you get it done or you don't. So That's just the harsh reality of life. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but you know, there's a lot of guys out here who really believe if they just vent to their girl how they feel, nobody gives a. And another thing too, everything that you're going through as a man, your loneliness, your depression, you lost business, you lost your money, how the world looks at it is that's your problem. Anything you go through as a man is your problem. It's your problem. You were good to her, you were loyal to her, she cheated on you, that's your problem. You got in a car accident as a man, that's your problem. Your business, you made a bad investment, you lost millions of dollars, that's your problem. She left you, your mental health spiraled on a decline, you got out of shape, that's your problem. Nobody really has any empathy for men. And this is a big reason as to why men, when we do become successful, we are cocky and arrogant. And people say they have a problem with men being cocky and arrogant. And it's like, how the fuck can you have a problem with men being cocky and arrogant when women walk around, their whole existence is based off being cocky and arrogant? Make it make fucking sense. Like, most women are cocky and arrogant. To have expectations way above what you actually deserve, is that not cocky and arrogant? That's cocky and arrogant. So why should men have to humble themselves if women them fucking selves are not even humble? You know? I don't know, man, but that's the video for today, man. The second video, earlier I did a video as to why overinvesting in a woman can fuck up a man's life. This video is basically saying why nobody gives a fuck about your problems as a man. My next video, I probably will be getting more in depth as to, what happens when you're successful as a man, and why the world really doesn't want to see you happy as a man, including other men. But that will be an interesting video. But yeah, man, hope you guys take this, run with it. Don't hate women. Use it. Learn from it to protect yourself. Just accept it. Don't hate these bitches, man. Just accept it, dude. Literally, just accept it. Like, I don't want you to be the type of nigga that's like running around and you're pissed and now you hate women because of Red Pill content. I know it's easy to fall into that Red Pill rage, especially when you grasp your head around something so dark. And like, how could they fucking be like this? Bro, it's like hating a bee. It's like hating a bumblebee for fucking with honey. That's just in their nature. It's like, it's like hating a bird for flying. It's just in their nature. It's hating a shark for needing water, for living in the ocean. It's just like hating, and that's exactly what it is. Hating women for being hypergamous, hating women for not caring about your problems, for being a survival creature. That's just like hating animals for being whatever that they be. Yes, it's just how it is. But hope you guys take this, man, learn from it, like I said, and use it to protect yourself. Use it to get on your purpose. Use it to, feel better about your situation, to get motivated, But yeah, man, it's your boy Devil Ken. Peace out. Till next time.